Good morning. This is Regina Adams coming at you with another busted but blessed message. I'm not sure if this is going to be a big mama love message. It's just going to be a message. So, there's a song that says, "The truth will set you free, but first it'll piss you off." Yeah. So I've been upset the past couple of days because the revelation of why I've been dealing with this stalker my entire life hit me like a ton of bricks yesterday, and I'm upset. I'm upset, and I have a right to be upset. When I look back over my life, the entire time this person has been stalking me, basically since I was probably 3 or 4 years old. Earlier this week I talked about an open rebuke I went through in church, and for me, I didn't believe that person was me. I felt like there was an evil spirit that was attached to me because I didn't believe it was me because the spirit that walked next to me looked like the number one. Even back in the 90s when I was smaller, I always had curves. So we didn't even have the same shape. So I never assumed that spirit was me. And I'm thankful God confirmed that it wasn't me. You know, I was thinking about when I had my condo in '07, and I remember I'd go downstairs to pray. It was a tri-level unit. I'd go downstairs to pray, and I actually saw that spirit I saw the person that was in spirit form walking around my condo. And I thought, okay, these were built on an Indian burial site. Maybe it's one of the spirits from the burial site that's walking the earth. And now I'm realizing that it was the same person who's been stalking me since I was 4, who was actually walking around my condo trying to find an entry point so she can bring her violence to me and my daughter at the time. And it's interesting because after that happened a couple times, I installed an alarm system, ADT. They came through, boop, 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 boop. But they came through, and it's interesting because after I installed that alarm, I remember I didn't see that spirit anymore. And then that's when I believe she learned how to start hacking, because now she knows how to bypass alarms. So all of that is leading up to me being here and realizing that she's been next door since December. Didn't know that. I found that out in, let's see, I left my job in April. Found that out in May that she's been here. Even when she filed the restraining order, she was in the room next to me. And I remember in May being downstairs, and I remember the housekeepers talking about one of their pass keys had been missing, and one of them didn't have the code to go into wherever they need to go to get the pass key. And I was thinking, that's how she's gotten in the rooms. Because as she was walking around my apartment my condo back in '07, trying to find her entry point, in the spirit, stalking other people, learning their passcodes in the spirit so she can find how to get in their home. Same thing with here. I come back yesterday, my charger is all half of it's on, half of it's off, halfway charging. You know, um, even when there are messages on the door, because I would go downstairs in the morning, being in this place, go downstairs, there's nothing. If people would post things on the doors or slide them under the doors at night, when you walk down the hallway, you see nothing. There's no notifications, no indicate, nothing. I didn't even get the notification about the power outage. I happened to be going to the mailbox, and I looked at the door when I came in, and I read that there was going to be a power outage that night. I didn't get anything under the door. When you walk down the hallway, you don't see any messages from management because she's here going in, stealing all of the information so people can't get it. correction. So, yeah, so people, including myself, can't get the necessary information we need because this building is closing and we have to prepare to move. Now, it is interesting because yesterday I was going off. And yeah, I got my fan, y'all. I'm sorry. I had to turn the air off so I could hear myself think. So my fan's ready in case y'all start see sweat beads. Yeah, that's it. Um, the revelation hit me like a ton of bricks yesterday is that the reason she's been stalking me is because she wants to do a TV show based on my life where she can be me so she can get back on television. All of this was because she was on Preachers of LA and that got canceled because Bishop faked an illness. But the truth was nobody wanted to work with her. Now she's trying to do another pitch, another TV show based on my life, based on who I am as a person, where she can attempt to come in to act, to pretend to be me. That's the reason why the hacking and the stalking and the invasion of privacy has been allowed to continue for so long, because whatever her dynamics is, she's telling people I'm racist. So when people see me coming across the screen in my everyday life that she has currently hacked, they think it's okay because I'm supposedly racist, you know? And it's interesting because if I were being stalked and hacked in a public forum and were white, they would have stopped that a long time ago. But because I'm black, then it's been allowed to continue as long as it's been allowed to continue. And I don't know what type of BS is being said about us getting paid. We wouldn't get paid for the world to know our social security number, for the world to know our ID number, for the world to know our bank account number. If you were doing a reality TV show, matter of fact, check any reality TV show. Who has their actual social security number on the TV show? Who has their actual state picture ID that they use for identification on the TV show that you guys are able to look at? Because it's all hacking. And the interesting thing is what happens in the middle of the night, because I can hear her next door, because I believe it was last week when the guy that actually stayed next door was out. So many men were coming through that I heard one of them say, "Thank you, Regina." I was like, And so I got up and I said Noel's name, because whenever I call his name when he's sleeping, he can hear me. And he woke up. I'm like, I just want you to know that's not me. I don't do that, you know. And then the next day I go to the trash and I see all the sheets and the pillows in trash bags in the trash can. So I go downstairs and tell management that, yeah, somebody just threw away a bunch of sheets and towels, sheets and pillows, and they look brand new, into the trash area. I just wanted you to know. Because so many people ran through there last week with her trying to pretend to be me. And it wasn't me. I'm in my room, sleep, minding my business. And every time she wakes me up, I know it's always something that with her and I'm not doing that. That's why I call his name. So that way when I wake up, he wakes up. So he knows we're not together. We'll never be together. We can't even sit on the same stage cordially, because the only reason why she continues to show up to the city is because she views the sanctuary as her stage, because that's the only way she can get on camera. And she isn't even wanted there. I heard the description of trying to get rid of her as trying to get a rat out of your house. Nobody would actually pick up anything she does in reference to TV show or production or pay her for anything, because anybody would understand that accepting any project she tries to work on will be their liability. They will be responsible for the mess that she has done and creates and will continue to do. And they see that what happens, what she will do when she doesn't get her way, and the havoc and the hate she created and ascended on people's lives because she didn't get what she wanted. So basically, I've been stalked because she wants to get back on TV to pretend to live my life as me on TV. Yeah, so I was upset about that yesterday. The realization of that hit, and it's interesting because I wasn't even going to talk about that. I was actually going to talk about forgiveness because that is what was in my spirit. And what was in my spirit was a few weeks ago when I was talking about letting things go because I wasn't going to forgive. I wasn't going to forgive because I understood that most people weren't ready to be forgiven. Because when I forgive you, it's no longer on me, but it's back on you. And then you actually have to deal with the reality of everything you did, even when you weren't yourself, even when you were dealing with being a person who had their soul switched with somebody else that was evil, and then you did all these things that you wouldn't normally do, but because your soul was switched, you did them. And then I used to say, if it's in you, you wouldn't do it. It had to be in you in order for you to do it. And I was wrong. Point blank, period. I was wrong because I didn't understand the depth of someone's ability to be able to switch their soul with a past evil, hateful spirit that's been hateful for over 500 years, and they enter a new dwelling, and then they take over that body to the point where the person is only speaking evil and hateful stuff because they have a over 500-year-old spirit in their body. That's what people have been dealing with. That's what folks in the church have been dealing with. Unaware. That's why you can't ever welcome Satan in, because Satan will come in and offer you a little something that it will take you your entire life to even get out of if you become aware. And the only way you're able to become aware is if somebody like me tells you this is what's been happening to you. Because when I said it to certain people couldn't have their soul switched out. Certain people, because of their divine nature, had to be beaten down, violated, destroyed at such a young age that they would just be willing to do whatever to avoid the pain. However, when they come into the knowledge of who they are, they have the option to leave, and guess what? They left. And after leaving, they still have to deal with the pain of the pain they caused. They still have to heal from the trauma they caused and their trauma. Because people who are causing trauma endure trauma. They didn't show up one day just on the attack mode. They were raised in attack mode. That's why they have to attack. So then that's why I ask the question, who hurts more? The victim or the violator? The victim who endured a painful act, or the violator who endured a painful life? That's something to think about. And I'm not going to choose, because I'm thanking God that I'm here to share with you guys the decision to want to heal. That's why I'm making it a choice to forgive everybody except Loretta. I'm not forgiving Loretta. Period. Let God forgive her. He can deal with her. But for me, everybody else, um, I'm forgiving because um, how were you supposed to be responsible for your actions when you've had your soul switched and you didn't even know it? And how are you supposed to be responsible when you were traumatized into being the person you are? I said last week to a person, I said, you have the rest of your life to choose. Choose wisely. And that's what I'm telling you guys. This is your life, your choice. Choose wisely. You guys have a great day.